So you went to your doctor for a routine checkup and they wanted to check your blood work, and that included your blood cholesterol levels. Your doctor calls you back a few days later and says your blood cholesterol levels are a little bit wonky and you need to do something about it, including adopt a healthier lifestyle. So consuming a healthier diet and exercising. That is the doctor's best advice to you. So what does that mean? What does that look like? I don't know, that recommendation is kind of vague, right? Hey there, friends and family. Good to see you guys again. Thanks for coming by. And if you guys are new, welcome. Good to see you. I'm glad you are here. My name is Sarah and I'm a registered dietitian with a master's degree in human nutrition. So thank you so much for being here today. Today, I wanted to talk to you guys about 7 ways that you can improve your cholesterol levels the right way, in the healthier way. And that includes through different diet strategies as well as touching on exercise. All right, so let's get to it. So cholesterol, what is cholesterol? I'm not gonna do a deep dive here, but basically cholesterol is a nutrient that is important for our bodies. It's something that we actually get from our diet, but our bodies actually produce. So cholesterol is important for building cell membranes. It's important for making vitamin D in our bodies. It's also important for producing hormones, as well as making bile acids. And bile acids are actually important for our bodies to help break down and absorb fat in our diet. So there are different cholesterol types that I want to touch on briefly. So LDL cholesterol, that is considered the bad cholesterol. That type of cholesterol actually carries cholesterol to tissues in our bodies, including the arteries. HDL cholesterol, which is considered the good cholesterol, that cholesterol takes cholesterol from tissues in our bodies to the liver, where the liver actually helps remove it from our body. And then there's a few other components, usually as part of the blood lipid panel I want to touch on really quick. The total cholesterol. Total cholesterol just includes both LDL cholesterol and HDL cholesterol. And then there's triglycerides. Triglycerides are a type of fat that our body actually produces from the excess intake of calories. So when we consume too many calories, especially in the form of carbohydrates, our bodies will actually produce triglycerides. So we can also actually consume triglycerides directly from various fat sources in our diet as well. But triglycerides are actually, they're used for energy in our body, so our body does use them to produce energy. So those excess triglycerides are actually stored in our fat tissue, and then they can be used later on to produce energy. So I wanted to pop this up on the screen for you guys. This is the cholesterol levels guideline, and I just wanted to point out, the various ranges here. So the desirable range in green, the borderline high in like a yellow color, and then the high in like a reddish color. So just wanted to point this out. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but I just wanted you to see basically looking at what the desirable range is. And this is the range that we should be trying to strive for. So again, what I said in the beginning is that I wanted to touch on 7 different ways that you can help improve your blood cholesterol levels. So the first way is to avoid trans fats. Now, trans fats are actually also known as partially hydrogenated fats. So if you look at the food label on your package of food and you see partially hydrogenated soybean oil, that's actually a trans fat. The other way we can get trans fats in our diet is through cooking our food at high temperatures, especially when you're obviously using fat. So when we cook that fat or heat up that fat at a high level, it can potentially damage it. So it's definitely important to use fats that, if you're using a high cooking temperature, that can withstand that temperature and not break down and damage and turn into a trans fat. The other option, of course, is to, using a cooking method or temperature that is lower and safer for that fat, so it doesn't damage it. So the second thing that is recommended is to reduce your intake of saturated fats. So basically consume less animal-derived saturated fats from fatty meats, dairy, as well as butter. I'm not saying to completely eliminate those foods, because these are foods that I consume once in a while as well, but just be mindful to reduce your intake of those fats. The other thing is to consume less plant-derived saturated fats. So from coconut oil or palm kernel oil, palm oil, those tend to be higher in saturated fats, and a diet that's high in saturated fat has been shown to impact your cholesterol levels and promote cardiovascular disease. So the third thing is to consume more unsaturated fats. So these fats are from our nuts and seeds, chia seed, hemp seeds, olive oil, avocado, fish, so tuna, salmon, sardines. These are definitely fats that are beneficial. Don't consume a ton of these fats, but maybe replace some of those saturated fats with the unsaturated forms. So the fourth thing is avoid dietary ages. And what are those? So ages stands for, it's AGES, stands for advanced glycation end products. And these are also known as glycotoxins, actually. So ages are typically found in animal-derived foods that are high in fat and protein, but also they're found in highly processed foods as well. So ages are actually harmful compounds that are formed when proteins or fats become glycated as a result of exposure to sugars. And ages are also formed when you are cooking your food at high cooking temperatures. So that includes grilling, frying, toasting, etc. It's basically when you're getting that browning of the food. So that browning of the food, you're actually producing ages. So our bodies also do produce ages naturally as well. I just want to throw that out there, but I'm not going to go into detail here. So foods that are high in ages include sugary foods like candy, cookies, cakes, soda, pastries, highly processed foods, including like packaged meats and cheese and other packaged foods, high fat meats, so our red meats, those are higher in ages. Fats, including butter, margarine, oil, those tend to be higher in ages as well. And lastly, fried foods. So the issue with ages is that they can actually oxidize LDL cholesterol in our bodies, and this can promote oxidative stress and inflammation, and we definitely want to avoid that. Ages, funny enough with the name, is actually associated with aging. Okay, aspects of aging, but it's also associated with insulin resistance, diabetes, atherosclerosis, chronic kidney disease, Alzheimer's, and cardiovascular disease. So what are some healthy strategies that you can take to reduce ages in your diet, and other ways that you can reduce, your body from producing them naturally? So the first thing you could do is to use cooking methods that don't use that high temperature. So that would be like sous vide, crock pot, steaming, braising. Those are ways to reduce ages. Cooking with acid, so cooking with, for example, lemon juice. Using an acid will actually help reduce the amount of ages in that food. Consume antioxidant-rich foods. So we know a lot of our plant foods, fruits, vegetables, tea. You can search this, I won't go into detail, but consuming antioxidant-rich foods will help fight those ages and help our bodies to kind of get rid of them naturally. The last few things include, are dietary related, but it's important to get enough sleep. It's also important to exercise and to reduce stress in your life. So again, those are ways that will help your body just kind of fight the inflammation, fight the stress, and help then reduce the naturally forming ages that can be produced in our body. So the fifth thing is to consume more fiber. So, and I'm talking specifically soluble fiber. So we can find soluble fiber in oats, barley, legumes, flax meal, apples, bananas, pears, citrus fruits, kiwi, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, sweet potatoes, squash, avocados, and eggplant, to name a few. So why is soluble fiber important? Well, soluble fiber actually binds to bile acid. So if we remember from before, bile acid is actually formed from cholesterol, and bile acid helps our bodies break down and digest fats in our diet. So soluble fiber will bind to this bile acid in our GI tract and actually allow our bodies to excrete it into our feces. So the binding of the fiber to the bile acid and then its excretion from our bodies actually requires our liver to produce more bile acid. And to do this, our liver will actually help pull cholesterol from our blood to help create and form more bile acid. So this actually has been shown to reduce both LDL cholesterol and total cholesterol. So it's kind of really fascinating, I think. So it's important to get in your fiber. So there was a study titled The Effects of Low Carbohydrate, specifically simple carbohydrate diets on cardiovascular risk factors, and it was a meta-analysis. So this meta-analysis confirmed that low carbohydrate diets have a beneficial effect on cardiovascular risk factors. But the long-term effects on cardiovascular risk factors will actually require further research. So just something interesting to think about. And I think, you know, me included, I can certainly reduce the amount of, you know, simple carbohydrates I consume. So it's just something to be mindful of, replacing those, you know, sugary foods, simple carbohydrates with healthier alternatives. So what diet would encompass all of these suggestions? I actually would recommend, if I had to pick a diet, it would actually be like a hybrid diet of the DASH diet and the Mediterranean style diet. So the DASH diet, actually, that DASH stands for Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension. So consuming a diet that kind of includes aspects or components from both of these diets, I think is a great way to help you to reduce your cholesterol levels naturally. So these diets, well, there's a few different things, a few different aspects to why it's a healthy option. One is they're full of vegetables and fruit. So this diet would include moderate amounts of whole grains, nuts, legumes, poultry, and fish. It would actually include lower amounts of dairy, red meat, saturated and trans fats, as well as concentrated sweets. And it would include more healthful whole foods fats. So these are a few reasons why this hybrid type diet, so the DASH diet and the Mediterranean style diet, would be a healthy diet to follow to help you reduce your cholesterol levels. So last but not least, the seventh piece of advice for you guys is to include exercise into your life. And I know it's like a broken record, we should all be exercising, but research has shown that any type of exercise, so whether you're walking for 30 minutes a day, whether you're doing some yoga, swimming, whatever type, form of exercise you like to do, it actually can be beneficial in helping you to actually increase your HDL levels and also to lower your triglyceride levels, actually. It does not matter what type of exercise you do. The important thing is that you are doing some exercise, some activity, adding activity into your day. All right, so that is it for today. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. If you have any questions, I know this is kind of a lot of information, maybe some confusing things I mentioned here. If you have any questions, please comment down below. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for coming by. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing, and for all of you guys, please consider hitting that like button on the video. That way I can reach more people out there and help me to be successful and do what I want to do here with my channel. So I really again appreciate you guys. I hope to see you again all very soon. With that, you guys take care, and I will see you again next time. All right, bye.